you've been on this channel any length of time, you know without a shadow of a doubt, I hate journalists, because nowadays journalists don't have morals, credibility, integrity. All they got is a blue check mark on Twitter, and they try to use that to their followers to show them that, hey, I'm the one spreading the real truth. I have all the information, when all they do is spew a bunch of hot takes based on 15 seconds worth of information. And when facts and evidence comes up to completely destroy that hot take that they spewed out into the ether, you rarely get the individuals who will own up and say, I got it wrong. You have individuals who will ignore it. You have people who will try to play a scapegoat. You will have individuals blaming other people for their fuck up. You even have individuals who will be annoyed at the fact that they have to print a retraction, because instead of being a journalist and actually pulling both sides of the story, they would rather defend a because trans rights matter in every situation, even when somebody is obviously in the wrong. And for some reason, there was an individual who decided it was a good idea to take the life of somebody who just so happened to be a journalist.
The Clark County official accused of stabbing a reporter to death will be back in court tomorrow for his arraignment. Public Administrator Robert Tellis, on the right, has now been formally charged with the murder of newspaper journalist Jeff Gehrman.
In the criminal complaint filed today, we also learned that the district attorney added new deadly weapon charges and older person enhancements because Gehrman was 69 years old.
And new details are being revealed about the moments surrounding Gehrman's death.
Fox 5's Drew Andre live outside the Regional Justice Center to break down these new details for us.
Well, the arrest report details the evidence that investigators came up with. That includes surveillance footage that shows the murder and why they believe it was premeditated. Police say investigative reporter Jeff Gehrman was found nearly 24 hours after his death near the site of his home, and investigators believe they know how the attack was planned out. The report says County Public Administrator Robert Tellis' phone was left at home when they allege he drove to Gehrman's house to kill him. They say Tellis' wife couldn't get a hold of him during that time that Friday morning. Investigators say surveillance showed the suspect arrive and walk to the side of Gehrman's home. Gehrman came out of his garage a few minutes later, and the person wearing the reflective shirt and big straw hat attacked him immediately. The report says Gehrman suffered stab wounds to his torso and neck. Investigators say Tellis' DNA was found under Gehrman's fingernails.
You know, I make my opinions on strengths and weaknesses of case on the evidence, and the evidence at this point is quite compelling.
After police released a suspect vehicle last Tuesday, they received calls at the GMC in Tellis' driveway that matched the description. Police say Tellis was seen washing his car a short time after the photo was released. Tellis holds an elected position as public administrator. Records show he makes about $120,000 a year. Following reports of personnel issues in the office that Gehrman detailed in his reporting, the county says the decision was made to no longer have staff report to Mr. Tellis, and the solution will be in place until the public elects a new public administrator in November. In court last week, Tellis had bandages on his arms from self-inflicted cuts, and police also allege there's evidence of possible ingestion of narcotics.
And by the time it was necessary to start asking questions about the situation, and the police have to get on the podium and answer the questions of the public, you have one individual in particular who decided, let's test the waters about making this political. Let's see what type of gotcha I could get from any of these police officers. And instead of asking a question that pertains to the situation in finite detail, you instead ask a question about Donald Trump.
Now is probably not the appropriate time to talk politics, but do you condemn...
So why are we talking politics then?
Do you condemn former President Trump's normalization of violence against journalists?
No, I think this is probably the inappropriate venue to speculate on that or opine on that. I think it needs to be stated and noted that it is troublesome because it is a journalist, and we expect journalism to be open and transparent and a watchdog for government. And when people take it upon themselves to create harm associated with that profession, I think it's very important that we put all eyes on and address the case appropriately, such as we did in this case.
And the thing about that annoys me is, no, I'm not a Trump supporter. No, I'm not a Biden supporter. No, I'm not a Democrat. No, I'm not a Republican. I don't care about any of this. The thing that annoys me is that instead of trying to figure out details about this so that you could put it in your news publication, you instead want to spew this right-wing rhetoric about Donald Trump and how he motivates people to do things to journalists because fake news, and journalists are always at scrutiny because of Trump, the orange man, and his conservative friends and his following, because all they say is journalists do is spread fake news. Yet you contribute to that by trying to spew some bullshit that was not necessary to begin with. Talk about the situation, talk about the facts, talk about the evidence, get the answers to the questions that are important to the situation, not some weird gotcha for a political hit piece. This is why people go around hating journalists. This is why people say fake news, because instead of getting to the truth, you spend too much time focusing on bullshit, and it leads to more people not trusting you and instead trusting a dude who's wearing a give a fuck hoodie and on the occasion that he feels it necessary will wear a pink hat. For some reason, this and my whole persona is more credible than people who spend years trying to master the craft that is journalism, and that is embarrassing. That is sad. It's only funny to me because after all this time, people are starting to realize the game that CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, they all spew a certain type of rhetoric and people will buy into it. The problem is you people that want to try so hard to spew that end up getting caught because you're so fixated on a gotcha and not the facts and evidence. I don't care if this dude was a Democrat or a Republican. He took somebody's life, or he's a suspect in somebody's life being lost. So book him, interrogate him. I'm not gonna pick sides, or I'm not gonna pretend like I care or I don't care, or I'm not gonna be interested in a gotcha all because, oh my God, the political affiliation is what matters. No, the situation, facts, evidence, and justice is what matters. And the more y'all sit here and play this game of when you want to pick and choose how you go about deciphering information and which ones are important and which lives matter and which situations deemed to be national news, you're going to continue to contribute to the problem that you keep complaining about, which is people criticizing journalists, people criticizing mainstream news, people criticizing all the work you put in. Oh, you spent billions of dollars on a social media service streaming app, and the only reason it failed is because, oh my God, all these different people don't trust the news. No, people don't buy into the BS anymore. And it's sad. It's sad people trust me more than people who spend all that time trying to be journalists in mainstream. But guess what? Maybe if you tell the truth more often, maybe if you waited for more information, maybe if you didn't go in asking, so does this have anything to do with Donald Trump? Maybe people would trust you more. But until that time, I will enjoy the fact that people will trust me and subscribe to me and give me the honorary notification of having 200,000 subscribers than ever trusting people spewing hot takes on social media. And with all that being said, be better, because it's damn sad. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.